Ah. Ah. Ah.
Just gonna drink all my water.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. MC.
I'm P.
And today we're going back into Jordan Peterson and Andrew Schulz from the Andrew Schulz podcast. Yeah. Why beta males become movie stars? Beta males become movie stars, huh? Let's find out why.
Alrighty. As always, let us know what you think about this reaction down below. Like, subscribe, ring that bell so you get notified for upcoming videos. Remember, we are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We need your help to do it. Let's go.
Oh, you done?
Yeah.
I guess I was fixing your head.
I know.
Let's begin.
When did masculinity become something bad? As I sit here with ripped jeans and my legs crossed.
Maybe when when all us men decided that we would accept that characterization of it.
I never accepted it. I mean, like, I don't know. I remember growing up, right? And I think I saw it like play out in movies. Like I remember growing up and I remember seeing like
TV too.
TV.
It went from My Three Sons and Father Knows Best to
that.
Well,
to what are the
to every
nerds?
father being a buffoon.
Yeah. So
all the ads now. It's about the dad not what to do and the wife coming out of nowhere and saving the day. Like, you know, that's why
us women are awesome. Duh.
Well,
to what are the
to
nerds?
every father being a buffoon.
Yeah. So I'm literally watching movies and I'm like, okay, Bruce Willis is saving the day, right? And then like 90s, Bruce Willis is still saving the day. And then it's 2000s, I'm like, do we have nobody new here? Is Bruce Willis still the only fucking man left saving the goddamn day? Like, we just ran out of young, I guess, masculine men that were going to be the heroes. And then all of a sudden, like, these, like, Michael Cera types, he could be a sweet guy, but he's playing, like, this imp guy, you know, who's just being, like, walked around on a leash by his girl in every movie.
Yeah, good got to be synonymous with harmless.
But I don't understand it because I don't think that you can make that a trend. I can't speak on behalf of chicks, but I don't think that you can like make chicks like beta males. I don't think that exists, right? Like, don't we like what we like? I mean, maybe an outfit can change. Maybe we like certain jeans and other people like skirts. But at the end of the day, I think there's going to be certain characteristics of the opposite sex that we're going to be drawn to biologically.
Well, you know, one of the ones you already discussed is competence. Anybody with any sense is going to prefer competence unless they want someone who's emasculated and is completely powerless. And because then they don't have to be afraid of them in some sense. I mean, they should be more afraid of them really. But, you know, when you confuse competence with power, then you punish competence. And maybe then you become attracted to weakness because it's not authoritarian. It doesn't look like tyranny, but that's only because competence and power are confused in your mind.
I think nowadays, like, little boys are being taught that being weak is like a virtue. Like, because men are getting such a bad rap now, anything manly or masculine is deemed as, you know, toxic, whatever. So now, men are saying that, you know, I have to display myself as harmless. People don't associate me with like toxicity. You know what I mean?
But then if you display yourself as like
harmless,
too harmless and too sensitive, nobody's gonna want to be with you
or take you seriously.
Yeah,
they're gonna walk all over you.
Exactly.
So it's just a balance. I think we lost that. There's a balance, not going the extreme opposite, the extreme, you know,
like the extreme either way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about a balance. But I think.
But that's with both genders. There's a balance. You need to be able to find your balance in the world and find somebody that will be with you, knowing that you lean. Because each of us, whether there's a balance or not, lean one way a little bit more than the other. That's just how it is. Like most women are soft-spoken and stuff like that. I lean more towards the loud-spoken.
Well, some men are more feminine. Some
That's what I'm saying.
women are more masculine. That's the exception. That's not the majority.
Mm-hmm.
That's the exception, right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you lean towards one or the other, it's when you go to the extreme.
Exactly.
Like if a man becomes too feminine or too masculine.
They're having issues now with even you showing a little bit of it. Like if I show a little bit of it to somebody who doesn't, to show, like for example, if you're a man and you show a little bit more of the aggressive aspects of being a man than the feminine aspect of it, it's immediately like, no.
Toxic, you know what I mean?
The same thing for a woman. If I show too much femininity, then I'm not a strong, independent female.
Exactly.
No.
So I think now a lot of men are growing up wanting to be men, right? But society is pushing them back, saying, no, that's wrong.
Yeah.
You shouldn't want to be that. You should want to be, more feminine than masculine.
And it's messing up not just the individual person, it's messing up relationships too, because women are becoming men are becoming women, but the women only want or only physically attracted to strong men. But at the same time, they want the man to act feminine.
Exactly.
So it's like they want them to be both. That's not possible. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
All right, let's continue this.
Like tyranny, but it's that's only because competence and power are confused in your mind.
Competence and power. Yeah, there's this thing with power.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's there's this claim that all of our institutions are based on power. It's like, no, they're not. Only when they're corrupt is that true.
Has anybody that you've studied throughout history managed to obtain a significant amount of power and done the right thing with it?
Well, I think most of our institutions that function reasonably well do that reasonably well, or had. We're all flawed, but there's a huge difference between Joseph Stalin and Franklin Roosevelt.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So if you look at the democratic West, all things considered,
yeah,
the leadership has been okay to good, especially compared to absolutely catastrophically horrible, which is the alternative.
Yeah. Is it
so? And we don't give our functional institutions the benefit of the doubt, and that doesn't mean they shouldn't be subject to criticism. But the idea that they're predicated on arbitrary power, and that's their essential nature, that's appalling.
I wasn't being critical of the institutions.
I know.
Okay.
You weren't.
Yeah, I'm just curious about a human's relation.
Well,
to
you have
power.
a car.
Yeah.
Does it work?
Yeah.
How often?
Currently, every time I use it.
So, if you use it 1,000 times, how many times doesn't it work?
0 out of 1,000. A car, right? You said car.
Yeah, a car.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that institution is doing pretty well.
Yeah, because I'm not.
Has a 99.9% success rate.
I'm not
How
mad
about
at the
flying?
institutions.
Have you crashed yet when you flew?
I mean, I think you're jinxing me, but no.
And they're so safe, it's just beyond comprehension.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm not upset at institutions in that. I'm talking about a human being that is compelled to power. I understand certain people being compelled to greatness. That's really cool. You see it in athletes.
And what's
right?
the difference? What's the difference?
I think there is
as far
a
as
difference.
you're concerned.
I think there is a difference because I think once somebody accesses power, they don't necessarily need to be more great. Right? They'll just do whatever they can to continue to have that power. Where there are people.
Okay, what do? This is a good thing to differentiate. You made this case.
Okay.
Greatness versus power.
Okay.
Okay, let's take it apart.
Okay.
So you just said there's something arbitrary about power.
Yeah, I think there's something about people who desire power instead of greatness. And I think that power comes with greatness, but if your desire is power, I think there is something dangerous there because you're willing to do whatever it is to maintain that power. Whereas
it's the mimicry of greatness. It's the mimicry of greatness.
Oh.
Greatness deserves power because you want the powerful to be you want the great to be
powerful.
Why wouldn't you?
Oh, that's why we exalt these people that we believe are great. We want them to have it. They've earned it.
Well, let's talk about that. It's not with celebrities, right? Like celebrities and athletes, they are great at what they do. So we praise them. Then they get power because we follow them. It's like Instagram, whatever. Follow us on Twitter. It's like So we follow them, then they have power. The reason we follow them is because they're great. But because we follow them, we give them power.
They're great, and we think they have potential to be even greater. So we give them this power. But once they have the power, it's in their hands to make something greater with that power, or to just take the power and run with it.
Exactly. Or try to keep that power.
And not care about the greatness that comes with it.
Exactly. Like disregard greatness.
Then there's people...
only care about the power and not you bring something worthwhile to society.
Yes.
Because the reason you're great is because you bring something to society that's positive, that people pay for, that people aim to achieve. Like LeBron James, he's the best basketball player, arguably of all times. So you want, you see something great about that. So we give him power. You know what I mean? But if it takes that power and he uses it for something bad, then there's something wrong there. But if you use that power to actually bring positivity, then that's the perfect, I'm guessing the perfect hierarchy.
But then there's also a flip side of the coin of people that don't really have greatness, that just want the power and actually are able to achieve the power.
That's when it's corruption, like you said.
Exactly.
That's when it's corruption.
Which is like the politicians.
Yeah, I think that's what the feminist think is going on all the time.
Yes,
everywhere. People go, like guys, so the CEOs that are men, the feminists automatically assume that if you're a man and you're a CEO, you automatically there because you want the power. Not because you bring something positive to the business. Not because you are smart and you bring something worthwhile to the business, but because
feminism,
it's
glasses,
power. You know what I mean?
corruption.
But
White man.
Jordan Peterson is saying that no, most of them are there because of competence, because they are good at what they do.
Yeah,
right?
that's...
Of course, there's gonna be some of them that just for power, but most of them are there because of competence. The feminists will say it's the opposite.
Because you can't really give power unless it's really given to you. I believe.
What do you mean given to you?
Like the people give you power. The people allow you to have power.
That's when you have greatness, but power can be taken.
That's what I'm saying. When if we people, society, give and take power
that's
away.
when it's done right?
Yes.
But also you get to the point where society's mind can be bent very easily by politicians or things.
Because that's
so but it's very complicated. But you're right though.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
We exalt these people that we believe are great. We want them to have it. They've earned it.
Well, who else would you want to lead you? I mean, if they're good at doing something, why wouldn't you put them in the front? You want to be led with by someone who isn't great? I mean, you think of all the times we spent as tribal hunters. Who do you put in charge? The best hunter. Or perhaps the best hunter who's also the most generous.
Yeah, exactly. You want the guy that's going to share that
yeah, right.
that
but that would make him a great hunter too, right?
Great.
Because over time he would have people in his hunting party. You want productivity and generosity.
So how do we discern between people who are mimicking greatness for power and greatness?
That's a great question. By paying careful attention, by listening, and by talking about it. That's the purpose of free speech. That's the purpose of political attention. Because you want the great, but it can be mimicked by psychopaths who use power. But that doesn't mean that power is the basis of our hierarchical human relationships. That's only the case when they've gone badly wrong.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, when a society is corrupt, then the powerful rule. When a society isn't corrupt, then the great have authority. That's not the same thing. And confusing those. You asked why the beta male is now this object of attention. It's because we've confused great and powerful. And now we're so afraid of power that we're willing to dispense with greatness entirely, or even to question whether it exists. That's the attack on the meritocracy. There's no meritocracy. Oh, there's no greatness. And no one who has a position deserves it. There's no difference in talent. And that doesn't mean our institutions are pure and that everyone with talent is rewarded.
Yes.
But because no institution is pure and no selection method is 100% accurate. But you made this distinction between greatness and power.
Yes.
So pursue it.
Okay.
How do you know someone's great as far as you're concerned?
How do I know someone is great? I have great admiration for the skill.
Okay. You admire them.
For the skill.
Yeah, well, that's weird. That's an interesting thing because we have this instinct of admiration. It's like you see someone and you admire them.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why? You want to be like them.
Yeah.
That's imitation, right? That's the instinct of imitation.
Yeah.
And because we can identify what's great, because it would be better to be great than the way we are. So when we see it, you think, oh, man, I really admire that. And maybe you're mad about that because you're so unlike that and it's judgmental and makes you annoyed.
Right.
But fundamentally, you think, I'd like to be like that. So there's one, admiration. You admire what's great if you have any sense.
Yeah.
Okay, and that happens spontaneously, especially in a domain that you value.
Yes, exactly. The more I value the domain, the more, God, I can't speak, the more, the more admiration
More admiration.
So it's like if you really into, I mean, the one thing again, if you're really into basketball, right? You're really gonna admire LeBron, Steph Curry, KD, those people because you like what?
Because they're awesome.
Exactly. Like if you're an aspiring actress, you're really gonna admire the actresses of the world. If you're an aspiring singer, you're gonna really admire the singers.
I would say
You know what I mean?
you're more likely to because there's people like, for example, I'm not into basketball at all, but I do admire those basketball players because I could see how great they are in that field.
Yeah.
So even as a person from outside the field of admiration can see that greatness.
Yeah.
But if you're in the field, you're more likely to.
And you're gonna do it at a good degree.
Yes,
You know what
that's
I mean?
true.
Exactly. That's the point I was making. I can still admire. I don't know. Like what's her name? That plays tennis.
Serena Williams.
Yeah, for her, for her greatness in playing tennis, right? But it's like, okay, I know she's great, but it's whatever. But I'm more willing to admire Steph Curry
Because you're really into basketball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
God, I can't speak. The more, the more admiration.
More
I have.
admiration.
Absolutely. I do not admire power. I don't even care about people who are powerful if they don't have something that I admire, some sort of skill set that I care about. The only thing that's nice is like the ease of power. You can open up doors easier, but I'm way more impressed by like a powerful person that actually has a skill I didn't even know about. Like that to me makes me go, oh, cool. Maybe that's why he got there. But just holding the position isn't admirable to me in any way at all.
I think like what you just said there. I think that's what a lot of people don't really like.
Politicians.
Like a lot of people don't respect politicians. I think because they are just given power. Of course, you have to vote for it. It's about promises. Like I'm gonna like give me power, and I will do this for you. Right? You give them power, but it's like they don't deserve it. And listen, until they actually do the things that they said they were going to do before they got elected, they don't deserve the power.
Yeah.
So let's say a person get elected with promises, and they don't
They don't fulfill those promises.
Exactly, they don't fulfill the promises. Our respect for those politicians go way down.
Yeah.
Because they don't fulfill the promises they said they were going to.
Yeah.
Because now you have power without deserving it, and people don't like that.
It's also a little harder to I admire those people that have the power, like politicians, when you don't know their backstory. Like it's easier with actresses and sports players because if you're really into a sport and you're really into a certain actor or actress, you tend to learn more about them and you understand their backstory. You understand the struggles they went through and the things they overcome to become where they are, to that greatness, to that power. Politicians, you don't have any of that backstory, so you're going based off of their verbal words, what they're saying to you, their promises. So then it goes to what you're saying about how it's all up to after they speak those words if they're able to walk the talk. Exactly. You know what I mean?
No, walk the walk. You mean?
Yeah, walk the walk.
Talk, walk the walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, sir, I know what you mean, but they might not know what you mean.
They made this dumb bitch. I'm sorry.
And from what you were saying too, like most people they don't really follow politicians, like governors
No.
and statesmen. They don't really
Unless
follow
you're
them, right?
in that power.
Exactly,
range.
unless you're on that sphere, right?
Yes.
So most people, they like, I don't know, they pay attention to like the primaries, presidential primaries.
Mm-hmm.
So all you see is the random guy people you see in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know anything about them. A guy here, a guy here, a girl here, a guy here, a girl here, right? Nothing about them, right? And then that and by the promises and by what they say, then you choose who you want to vote for, right? But you don't really go into history and figure out how
Yeah.
they performed in the
No.
past. No one.
Because
does
you're not
that.
really interested
You know
in
what I
that
mean?
person. There's nothing in there that makes you interested enough to want to look them up. Like,
Unless you're Donald Trump and you're funny and you know and
well,
you
to be
say
honest,
stuff,
a lot of
you know
people
what I mean?
already knew about Donald Trump.
That's
Donald
true.
Trump
You got
appeared in
one.
a lot of movies, TV
You got
shows.
one.
He's known for his hotels. So people knew a lot more about his backstory
That's true.
and who he was as a person before he even stood on that stand. So it's different. It's the same thing with actors and actresses. Like, I admire Jennifer Aniston a lot. I've watched her from when she was on the TV shows Friends to all the different movies that she went through. So because of that, I learned a little bit about her backstory, about how when she was a kid, her parents told her that she wasn't going to get anywhere because she wasn't the prettiest girl in the world. And how when she was going into the acting career, she was advised not to take the Friends role, saying that role was not going to get her famous at all.
Mhm.
And that she went against everybody's recommendations and did something out of pure instincts and it ended up making her who she is. Because I found her so interesting from the movies and TV shows that she was in, I learned about her past and I got to know her. That little interest of greatness made me want to do research. So if you don't have that interest of greatness, nobody's going to really go into that research
Now,
like most politicians
One
don't.
last thing I want to talk about is that you can admire the person's skill without admiring the person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so for example, right? Let's say you are a CEO somewhere, right? The CEO is, you know, the best at what he does. He does amazing. Every company he's been through, he's made it better, right? But he might be an asshole. Or he don't say things the way you want him to say things. Or, you know, or certain things, whatever
I would
it
use
is, right?
Trump as an example.
Yeah, whatever it is, right? But you can admire the skill of him knowing business and still hire him to manage the company,
Exactly.
but not admire the person in itself. You can appreciate the skill. See, you have this skill to help me with this, so I'm gonna hire you to do this. But I don't have to admire you to a point. You can make an argument with like morality, right? If the person is like, you know, for example, if the person don't have
Like
no
Trump,
moral
for example.
value,
He
I'm not trying to, right? Let's say the person have no moral values, right? You can choose to not hire the person because you know you disagree morally. But just because you don't like the person, it's not really, to me, it's not really a good reason not
to hire them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you can admire the skill. Like, you have the skill, I'm gonna hire you.
Well, it's also like
We're not gonna be friends. You know what I mean?
I'll give you two examples. One, take Trump for example. He does not speak well, and he has a little bit of a old-fashioned mindset. But he's a great businessman, and he takes crumbling companies and he makes them grow. And because of that, a lot of people voted for him to be president because they thought if he's able to do those to companies, imagine what he could do for the world.
But like I was saying, he got $1 million from his parents. So a lot of people use that to discredit him. But they can do two arguments with that, right? You can say, okay, that discredit him, right? But also, if somebody give you $1 million, would you be able to build it to like a, you know,
A company, or you're gonna blow it on like fancy cars and strippers?
And I think you can use the example that he had people around him that could guide him into whatever. But we can argue about this, all day. You know
But that's the example of somebody. I forgot where I was going with this now.
I bet I interrupted you.
I don't remember.
Yeah. So, but I could also use that. Like, let's say, for example, right, like in sports, right. Another example. You can not like a player, but still want him on your team, because you know that he has the skills to get the wins. You know what I mean? I think people differentiate between like my personal feelings about the person and their skill.
Yeah.
I don't think people do enough to separate those things. You know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will say, "Oh, he's a Republican. I want him on my team." Like, but he's great at what he does. So like,
exactly.
It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
That reminds me. It's like back in the day, a lot of people wouldn't hire people if they had tattoos or if they had weird colored hair. They wanted them to have that professional look. But by you not hiring a person, let's say your company has to do with computers, and instead of it being the normal nerdy guy with a tie and the glasses, it's a tattoo guy with a shaved head and piercings. You decide you don't want him to be in your company because he doesn't look professional, but he is the best at what he does. He was the top of his class in school and everything like that. So now you didn't hire a guy based off of their appearance, and you basically destroyed your own company because you could have had this great guy on your team to excel your company. Now your competitors have that guy, and
the only rebuttal I have to that is that, like, especially like customer service, allow like professional environments. People want you to be professional, like just professional. You don't have tattoos, whatever, right? And a lot of those things have to do with customers. For example, Walmart, Publix, CVS, whatever, right? If you have somebody with piercings and tattoos, blah blah blah, the CEO might be like, listen, right? My customers might feel intimidated by that guy. They might not want to come into my store and shop. So that's maybe a reason why they want to like dress a certain way. Like they have a dress code and, you know, certain things. They want to do certain things because their business is customer wise. Where I have a customer come into my store and shop, right? So the employees have to look a certain way.
Well, you could have a dress code, but I don't think not hiring somebody because of tattoos or hair coloring
I just stop that. It's about society. Some people might be like,
when you hire them, you could tell them that you want your company to have a certain look, and per se, and maybe they'll start wearing long sleeves or whatever when they're at work. But I don't think that should stop you from hiring a person, especially if that person's gonna advance your company.
Yeah, but what I experienced with like if the customers don't wanna buy in your store because of that person.
Yeah, but that could be helped. You could change that by hiring the person, telling them the dress code and stuff like that. But not hiring them does not.
But some tattoos can be covered up, like face tattoos and neck tattoos. That's what they'll be now. If you have a tattoo on your arm, some companies ask you to like cover them, right? But if you have it in your face and your neck, you can't really cover that. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I would say about that.
I don't know. My point still.
It shouldn't be that way. But I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying there are reasons why they do those things. I'm not saying the reasons are right or they're wrong. I'm just saying it's a reason that they do.
It's a disagreement. It's fine. Anything else to say on the topic?
I just want to them so they're not confused about.
I'm just saying it's a disagreement.
I know what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing. That's what I'm saying.
It is a disagreement.
I'm just saying there's a reason so that they do it. Did I do it?
Whatever.
Alright, guys.
Don't mind.
Listen to me, guys. I'm trying to listen to me.
He's annoying. That's why.
Alright, guys. Like,
let us know your thoughts and opinions about beta males in the comments below.
I think we went intentional, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
I forgot we were beta males. I forgot.
We did go a little bit on a tangent. But if you guys know us, you'll understand. You've been watching our videos plenty of times. You should understand how crazy we are by now. If you don't know us, welcome to the Crazy House. And as always, like,
comment,
subscribe.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.